Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 7 at Churchill Downs on Saturday is the Grade 3 winning colors for fillies and mares going 6 furlongs. Let's take a peek at this field. There are some quality filly and mare sprinters in this race. The 2 break even. She's won 7 of 9. She shows big speed. Mischief, she loves Churchill Downs. She's banked $1.2 million in her career. She is seeking her 11th lifetime victory. And let's not count out Spice Perfection, another millionaire in her own right and a Grade 1 stakes winner. There's going to be a lot of action for only $100,000 at Churchill on Saturday.
Yeah, really, really good field for this level of race, that's for sure. The 2 money line favorites are both really good horses. I think in particular, at least right now, Dan, Mischief, who's run twice now this year off the layoff and has looked really good in both of those races.
And Mischief's outside post position and tactical speed might really work well for her. As we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, we know that the 2 break even likes to go, and break even is expected to make the pace. It'll be interesting to see how much pressure the 6 Take Charge Angel puts on her. But if Mischief is sitting a 3-wide tracking trip, much as she did last time out at Oaklawn, she should be looming very boldly when the field turns for home.
Yeah, I mean, that's her real advantage to go along with the outside post is she's fast, but doesn't need the lead, Dan. She's not getting outrun in this race. So it just feels like being drawn out in post 8. It gives Santana options, and she's probably going to fall into a really nice trip here.
All of sneaking out, the number 1 sprint races are good. Here's her first start off a long layoff. First start for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. It was at Oaklawn Park going 6 furlongs, and she got a really nice setup in this race. They didn't go very fast for this class of horse, a half in 46 and 1, and she handled a solid runner-up in Bye Bye Jay. It was a nice step in the right direction for sneaking out in her first start as a 4-year-old, but now she catches 3 top-quality mares.
I mean, I thought she ran, I guess, fine in this race, Dan. It didn't really do a lot for me. I respect her overall form. I just feel like she's in too tough. I didn't like her really at all in this race.
Break Even's coming out party came at Churchill Downs in 2019 when she won the 8 Bells Stakes by open lengths at 7 furlongs. She got back into form last time out at Oaklawn in an optional claiming race, and this is how she runs. She goes right to the front. She says, "Catch me if you can." These horses that were chasing her at Oaklawn, they weren't going to catch her. 92 buyer for Break Even. It looks like Brad Cox has her good again.
Yeah, they never really got near her in this race at Oaklawn, which was a nice step in the right direction off of a somewhat disappointing 4-year-old debut prior to that. But they just never got near her to challenge in this race. She's clear under the wire. I've always liked her, Dan. I think she's pretty good. To me, if I'm Joel Rosario, I just let her go as fast as she can from the gate. You can't put her on the lead and try to raid her and hold a slim advantage in this race. I think you got to send her and go as fast as you can.
Now, if the pace is fast, perhaps it would set up for an informed closer, like the 3, Princess Causeway, who has won 2 of her last 3, including this race at Gulfstream Park on April the 11th. And she came from off the pace with a nice run at 6 furlongs to win it. She's stepping up in class, but this was really a career best performance for Princess Causeway. And again, give her a pace. She's going to come running at a price. Maybe she can crack the exotics at a nice mutual.
Yeah, I think she can. I mean, listen, I really liked this performance for you. You saw how far away she was at the top of the stretch there. I mean, she had a ton of ground to cover, and she erased it all. Now, it's not like it was against this kind of horse, Dan. It wasn't that kind of a field, but she's shown herself to be very versatile. I think she's a really good sprinter. I think she will have pace in front of her in this race, and I expect her to come running at the end.
Formulator fact for her trainer Ian Wilkes over the past 4 years, with older last out winners making their second start off of a layoff line in dirt sprints, 23% winners, and a positive return on investment. Bell's the one won the Grade 2 Raven run at 7 furlongs last year, but I wonder if she's more effective at 3/4 of a mile. And I think you could argue she's a little bit dirtied up. They ran her on turf last time out in the Mardi Gras. And while she's done well on turf, she just fell far, far behind in that race and really couldn't make up any ground. In the La Brea, she found a tough spot. Hard Not to Love was in career form. She came back to win the Santa Monica with a 100 buyer, then second in the Grade 1 Beholder with a 94. Bell's the one might be one of the better closers in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I think she might be the best closer in the race. And I say that, realizing that Princess Causeway could take another step forward here. But this filly has shown, graded stakes quality more than once, sprinting on the dirt. And she's going to come running at the end of this race. The thing I like about her, Dan, is even though she races from off the pace, she's very rarely outrun early in her races. She's off of it, but she's not far, far back in her races. She always travels well around the turns. I feel like she's a dangerous horse in here.
The number 5, Unique Factor, was a private purchase after her most recent race. We'll take a look at that one right now at Oaklawn. She's going to get necked in an optional claiming race. She just got wired in this spot. She earned a career best 86 Buyer speed figure. She's now in the hands of high percentage trainer Peter Miller. And Miller is testing her right off the purchase, running her in this very tough spot. She's going to need to improve.
Yeah, she's got to improve a lot. I mean, I guess that's the one thing that makes you take a second look. Not only that Peter Miller's taking over and everybody knows what he can do with the horse when he takes them over, but just that he's running her in this race. It seems like a sort of an odd placing for her because she just looks like she's in way over her head, but a guy who wins a lot of races is willing to run her here.
I really like the way Take Charge Angel won at Churchill Downs back in June of 2019, gate to wire fashion, beat 3 next out winners, did it in professional style. Since then, however, she's been kind of hunting to find herself, and she did it at Turfway Park last time out in a race where she was not bet very hard on her in her synthetic debut. She got up close to the pace and she finished it off. She likes to be up close, and I think chasing break even through fast fractions, that is not a very good setup for this filly.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in when you have, the 2 horses to beat in here. The 2 morning line favorites both have speed as well. And that's where, Take Charge Angel wants to run. She wants to run up close to the pace. Overall, Dan, she's run some good races. Overall, I just thought that she was probably a couple below some of these horses.
After finishing 4th in last year's Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, multiple Grade 1 winner Spice Perfection went through the auction ring and she was bought back for $1.35 million. Since her most recent start, she was privately purchased, and I thought her inside information was okay. That was a race where the pace completely collapsed, and while Spice Perfection came from mid-pack, she was the first one to attack that pace, and maybe that was just a little bit too much for her. Turning back to 6 in a race with pace works for her. She has a really good versatile running style. It is worth noting her most recent win, the Gopher Wand, was handed to her on a silver platter.
Yeah, it was. She got right to the lead over that 1-turn mile and didn't have to go fast and took advantage in a big way in that spot. You're right that her most recent race, the inside information, was actually pretty good. It's just not a race that I like that much. That inside information is not a race that I'm a fan of, and I don't want to take this filly coming out of it.
Mia Mischief, arguably the horse to beat. She loves Churchill Downs. She's 5 for 8 here, and she is coming off a big victory. She sold for $2.4 million to Stone Street Stables over the winter. They've been rewarded with 2 stakes wins, including this powerful performance in the Carousel. Now, it must be noted that the horse she had to beat in the Carousel, Bellafina, did not really have a great trip, breaking slowly and then rushing up very wide. But as we see in the Carousel, Mia Mischief destroyed this field in a race where there wasn't much closing.
There really wasn't. The best horses in the race, though, were more speed types. And this filly, or this mare now, just got a really good trip. Again, as we sort of talked about in the open, she used her speed to get the spot she wanted. She tracked it 3 wide. And when she came after the runner up there, Amy's Challenge, who's not a bad horse, by the way, she came after that horse through the turn and just ran right by her in the stretch. I mean, this was a really impressive win. Her first start off the layoff was also a very impressive win where she didn't have to work that hard. And her final start of 2019 as well, she just destroyed that field in the Dream Supreme over this track, which she really likes. We're going on and on about a short price in this race, Dan. She's just going to be a handful in here, I think.
Lady Sube cut back substantially in distance last time out to face Mia Mischief in that Carousel, and she ran okay to be 3rd. She had a little bit of trouble in that race. I'm just not sure what's her best distance. Is she a sprinter? Does she want to go middle distances? I kind of think her speed is probably best utilized going a mile and a 16th, where she can control the pace, but she can certainly improve a little bit second start of the form cycle, and she doesn't have to be too far away.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, listen, she did have legitimate trouble in the carousel last time. It didn't cost her a win, and it didn't cost her second either. She probably finished right where she was going to finish in third, and she didn't really make it that close. Even with that trouble, I couldn't go back to her in this race. I just don't think she's good enough.
Well, we'll take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 winning colors. We have the same exacta in the same order. We believe that this is Mia Mischief running down break even. They're the two best in this race, perhaps with the exception of Spice Perfection, who could certainly make a case. But you're going 8-2, 4-3. Yeah. I'm going 8-2, 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to bet against Mia Mischief. I think she's going to be really tough in here. I, thought about Bells to 1 a little bit because I do like her races overall, and maybe she'll get a good trip, some pace to run at here. I just think it's going to be hard for her to run down a horse like Mia Mischief.
Her tactical speed, her outside post really gives Mia Mischief a bit of an edge in here. We'll see if she can win another one for the Asmussen barn in the Grade 3 winning colors. Approximate post time for race 7 at Churchill on Saturday is 4:08 Eastern. Best of luck.